Hi, I'm Jan Roberts. Ever since I married into the Roberts family, I've heard stories about my father-in-law's participation in an expedition with Roy Chapman Andrews to Mongolia some 85 years ago. Andrews' 3 expeditions to Mongolia in the 1920s were sponsored by the American Museum of Natural History, officially the Central Asiatic Expeditions. My father-in-law, Leo von Roberts, was the chief topographer of the Second Asiatic Expedition in 1925 that had as its main purpose a search for dinosaur fossils in the Gobi Desert. A wholly new method of rapid mapping adapted to a plains country where there are few natural landmarks was developed by Colonel Roberts. He carried his survey more than 1,000 miles straight through the heart of Mongolia, 44 maps in all. At that time, transportation was limited to camels, yaks, and mules. A Mr. Charles Coltman, who was incidentally murdered by Chinese soldiers in 1923, had successfully taken several Dodge Brothers cars to Urga, capital of Mongolia, the sacred city of the living Buddha. Urga, as you know, is now known as Ulaanbaatar, or UB to us Yankees. Andrews concluded that the Dodge cars were sufficiently rugged to handle the grasslands and desert country. Of course, the benefit of the cars could not have been realized without camels, since they transported fuel and supplies. This gave great advantage of speed over previous explorers. The winter before the expedition was spent preparing supplies. Every box had a maximum weight of 100 pounds, all roped and indexed. And finally, on April 7th, the main caravan left for Kalgan, the Chinese city 95 miles northwest of Peking, now Beijing. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs provided a formidable-looking document that purported to make the caravan and the people exempt from duty and inspection. One of the souvenirs of Colonel Roberts' time in Mongolia is his ornate Chinese passport, now in the exhibit. It was just as useless as that fancy document from the Chinese government. Within 35 miles of Peking, where it was issued, the travel permit was challenged by troops guarding a pass. A permit to travel that road could have been done in a few minutes, but it took 3 days. This situation was repeated time after time as the expedition moved from one fiefdom to the next. Often the arrangements and payments were concluded over meals that were the equivalent of state dinners. Negotiations went well if one could make believe he was enjoying the stew with the sheep's eyes floating in it. As an aside, in the 1930s, Colonel Roberts led 2 expeditions in the highlands of Ethiopia to Lake Sana, the headwaters of the Blue Nile. Many weeks, lots of mules, lots of work. The one village near the lake is Gondar. Today, Gondar has air service from Addis Ababa. Sure beats walking or riding a mule. Mementos from Ethiopia are in the exhibit near the entrance. Now it is my great pleasure to share some glimpses of the Mongolian expedition. Hi, I'm Jan Roberts. My father-in-law, Leo von Roberts, was chief topographer on the 1925 Central Asiatic Expedition with Roy Chapman Andrews. Sponsored by the American Museum of Natural History, the main purpose was a search for dinosaur fossils in the Gobi Desert.